Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today for another one of my rarely updated video blog episodes. I just wanted to take a little bit of time today to talk to you about something that's pretty special that's coming up for me. And I had mentioned this in a video blog I had done earlier, but now it is October and it's coming up. So if you are not familiar with the Extra Life Foundation, it is a charitable organization that raises money for children's hospitals throughout the nation. And what they have is, it is a marathon of gaming, 24 hours of gaming. And it's supposed to be held the weekend of October 24th or 25th. My local game store is actually having it October 18th due to scheduling or whatever. And even though it won't be the official time, we will be basically locked into the event center at Paradox Comics and Cards in Fargo, North Dakota. And we will be gaming for 24 straight hours to earn money for children's hospitals. And I have a team of my friends that are going to sit down and we are going to play games, and we're going to eat copious amounts of junk food and drink soda and pretend that we are 15 again and see if we can last the full 24 hours. My plan is that I am actually going to have a live feed. I'm going to bring a webcam in there. I'm going to go out and buy one. I've been researching that for a little bit now. And if I can figure it out, I'm going to have a like live Google Hangout YouTube feed or whatever that, you know, I will play. And so you'll, if you wanted to, you could tune in and you could watch me and my friends play games, and we're going to situate it. We actually got to have our own private room that I know, if you watched my video with Richard Early, the owner of Paradox, you know we're pretty good friends, and he was kind enough to give me that. I think we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons, we're going to play some classic board games, and we're going to, like I said, eat lots of pizza and Cheetos and drink soda and get pretty wired. So, now, this might just be, whatever, you know, okay, it's something fun to do for a weekend, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of a personal story, and the reason why I'm doing this. Now, I mean, I would do this anyway. I mean, it would be a cool thing to do. But the reason why I'm actively involved in the charity, I'm working with Rich, I'm gathering people, I'm contacting different food sponsors and things like that, trying to get people to getting interest in the situation. The reason why is because of the fact that, as you well know, I'm a father. I am married. I have a daughter who is 7 years old. I have a little boy who turns 3 in, like, geez, like less than a week. That's crazy. What many of you probably don't know is that when my daughter was born, she was born very premature. She was born at just under 28 weeks. And she weighed 2 pounds 10 ounces, or 2 pounds like 9 3/4 ounces or whatever when she was born. She literally fit in the palm of my hand. And for 3 months, I had to watch her fight for her life in the NICU. And I'm kind of removed from it now. You know, it's weird, but I'm getting kind of choked up right now just thinking about it, because it was, whenever I think about it, and maybe it's just your brain's way of ability to, like, kind of take that stuff and just kind of like put it away, you know, and so you don't have to deal with it, or don't have to, like, think about it. But I had always wanted to be a father, and I was 35 years old, and I had kind of resigned myself to the idea that it wasn't in the cards for me. I wasn't going to meet that person that I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and I was going to raise a family with. I figured that if it was going to happen, it would have happened way earlier in my life. And when I met my lovely, intelligent, dynamic, beautiful wife, Rebecca, I had no idea that I thought I'd, you know, date her for a little while and I'd screw that up and she'd leave me for somebody else, and that would be that. But as luck would have it, you know, things worked for us, and when we found out that we were expecting and we were going to have a child, I was extremely excited. I was very scared, but I was extremely excited because, like I said, I'd always wanted to be a father. I think sometimes you get that feeling that you know, especially like you get that weird feeling where it's like you say to yourself, it's like, I'm not gonna like make the same mistakes everybody else does. I'm always gonna be there for my kids, and I'm always gonna have time for them, and I'm always gonna, you make all those weird statements to yourself. And the reality is that yes, I think everybody tries to be the best parent they possibly can be, but we're human and we make mistakes, and Lord knows I've made some, but I do. I try to be the fun and open and honest dad, and I love my kids. And I love my wife even more for making me a father. But regardless, when I was woken up one dismal evening, and my wife told me that, well, I mean, technically, I should let me tell you, like, go back up a little bit. I was woken up, and my wife and I, we went to the hospital because she was having cramps and having pains, and they went in and they said, well, you know, it's just like, it's just false labor or whatever. They kind of had her sit around and do whatever, and they sent her home. And then they just said, just kind of watch it, take a day off of work, try to relax, do whatever. And so, like, the next evening, I was invited over to a friend's house to play poker. And my wife, she said, you know, it was like, she just had a little bit of cramping. I said, you want me to stay home? She's like, no, it's just, I'm going to go to bed. It'll be fine. You go, have fun. I'll see you in the morning. And I said, all right, fine. So I went, and my wife called me like about an hour and a half later. She says, I'm really in a lot of pain. And I said, all right, fine. I'll leave. I'll come and get you. No problem. And so I came home, and she was like pacing back and forth in our apartment. And she was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go to the doctor. You know, and she was scared of it. And I understand. I mean, she was, you know, I mean, this is my, you know, my wife was 20 years old at the time. My girlfriend at that time, actually, but she was 20. And she was very nervous about the whole situation. And she said, I want to go see my mom. Her mom is a nurse, and she works in the maternity ward at the hospital that we were going to. And I want to go talk to my mom. And I said, all right, you know, get in the car. And in the back of my head, I said, you know, there was no way I was going. If I got her in the car, I was heading to the hospital. I was just going to take her there. I wasn't going to let, she could be mad at me, but fine, I was going to the hospital. But before we even got to the turn to go to her mom's house, she actually said, take me to the hospital. And so I went to the hospital, and we got her there, and you know, it was weird. It was like, they were like, okay, you know, and she'd been there just recently, and they're like, all right, you know, go get in the bed and sit down, and we're going to hook you up and all these things. And I remember I left, and I went to go like find some magazines or something, you know, because I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna be here for like 3-4 hours, and they're gonna say it's nothing, and they're gonna send her home. And so I went into the waiting room, and I was digging around for something to read. And as I walked back into the hallway, I'll remember this for the rest of my life. I saw them wheel my wife's bed out, and I'm like smiling here, but I was so scared. And I looked, and I saw my wife's eyes, and she looked like absolutely terror-stricken. And I said, what's going on? And the nurse, in just like very matter-of-fact, but like full of what's what I'm looking for? It's like very matter-of-fact, but very also just like, I could feel the tension in her voice. The nurse said, you're going to have a baby tonight, Dad. That's what she said. And like I said, I mean, my wife was just right at 28 weeks. I mean, there was, you know, I was like, what? You know? And so we went into a birthing room, and like, I remember it was like, all of a sudden, it was like everybody poured into the room. I mean, it was like, it wasn't like a classic, like, you know, you got those 3 people or whatever, and it was, there was probably 16 or so, nurses and doctors and caregivers, and I was there with my wife, and they were trying to talk us through the birthing process, but we hadn't gone to any classes yet or anything because we're lazy or whatever. And I remember they said, you know, and I mean, my mind was going a million miles an hour. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? What do we do? What do we do? And this can't be happening. That kind of mentality. And there are a couple things I remember more than anything is that I remember seeing this impossibly small baby come out, and I remember being so scared, and then I heard her cry, and I was like, oh well, thank God, you know, she's alive. And then I remember they picked her up, my daughter, and they let my wife hold her hand for about maybe a second, and then they carted her off to the specialized NICU bed that was right there, and they were just all around her and crowding her, just like straight out of something from a hospital drama show. And I was like, and my wife and I, like, we were just like almost completely forgotten. I mean, there was like maybe a single nurse that was tending to my wife at the time, and then the doctor grabbed me and said, you need to come with me. And they whisked my daughter down the hallway into the NICU, and he pulled me aside, and I'll remember this for the rest of my life. I mean, I was scared, but I didn't understand the gravity of the situation, really. I mean, because it was just, I hadn't had time to think until he kind of pulled me aside, and he started asking me questions about my medical history and my wife's medical history, and you know, and asking things. And basically, at one point, I didn't really understand. I can't quote him distinctly, but as he was talking, I kind of realized he was basically asking me if I wanted to sign a DNR for my daughter, and I wanted to punch his teeth out, honestly, and I chuckle about that now. But and so thus began a 3-month trek of my life that I will look back at, and I will look at every single time that life hands me a dirt sandwich to eat, or something, excuse my language, shitty happens to me. I will remember those 3 months of my life. My day, I worked a night shift at that time, and my day consisted of getting out of at 8 o'clock in the morning, driving to the hospital, sitting next to my daughter's bed, her NICU bed, until noon, and then I would drive to work, and I would work for 8.5 hours. I would call the hospital approximately 20 times, asking about anything that might be going on. And then as soon as I was done working, I'd drive back to the hospital, and I'd stay there till 2 o'clock in the morning, or as long as I could possibly stay awake. And then I would drive home, and then I would do that all over again. And my wife did the exact same thing. And there were setbacks, and then there were achievements, and it was all about this gradual, you know, just get to the next day. You know, just get to the next day. There were a few horrific moments where I had to watch them perform what you would call CPR on my daughter. I mean, literally, she stopped breathing right in front of me, and they had to, like, you can't give normal CPR to a baby that weighs 3 pounds. They literally rub their back and get them to and they talk to them. It's like, come on, and then it's like they think they remember to breathe again. And I had to watch that too many times. It was really crappy. And the thing is that I can talk about it now, and I get emotional about it now. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad or anything like that. I'm just, and this is going somewhere. Just please just listen to me. But I went through that 3 months of my life, and I remember I told one of my best friends in the whole world, Shad. He called me one day and he was asking me how I was doing, and I literally said to him, if I can get out of this, and I can have a healthy daughter, I am never going to be intimidated by anything in my life. I'm never going to be intimidated by a crummy situation ever again. I just need to get through this, and I'll remember how I felt at this moment, and I will be okay. You know, I just life can't beat me up over it. So, and I literally I truly believe that I took the worst. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, that's the worst I've ever felt. I'm sure other people have dealt with far worse tragedies and far worse problems. And but if they felt worse than I did during that time, that I can't even imagine, because that was the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. And it just went on and on and on. But my daughter came through the entire situation with absolute flying colors. We were told so many horror stories about disabilities that she might have, or problems she might have, or surgeries she might need, and she's 100% fine. I mean, she is 100 percentile in her height. She is strong. She's intelligent. She is funny. She is like my best friend in the whole wide world. And I know that'll change when she's a teenager, but I'm truly blessed that I have her. And in a way, I'm truly blessed that I went through that. Because, and she's pretty lucky too, because I can't really ever get mad at her because of the fact that everything that she went through. I mean, and she did. Even though she'll never remember a single minute of it, I can't imagine that little body and putting up with all the pain and the suffering that she went through in those the first 3 months of her life. I can't even comprehend it. So, now, the reason, it has a happy story. Like I said, you've seen the videos with my daughter. She is the apple of my eye, and I love her to death. But the reason I say this, and the reason I tell this story, is that the children's hospital that has that NICU has the best doctors, nurses, caregivers, equipment, education, support system, everything. And without all of that they had, there is no way on earth that I could have gotten out of that situation, and my wife got out of that situation, and my family got out of this situation as good as we are. So when I was given the option and the ability to take part in giving something back, raising money so I could help children's hospitals assist other families, and like they did mine, and continue that excellent service and even possibly increase it, there's no way I could say no. So, I have almost 11,000 of you that subscribe to this channel, and I love and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I have friends and that are like friends for life that I've met because of these videos, and because of board games, and because of all that. And I don't run a Kickstarter campaign. I don't think I ever will. And I'm not like saying that you shouldn't if you're a reviewer. It's just not my thing. I don't think it feels weird to me. But like so don't take it the wrong way. And so I do feel weird asking you to donate to this charity. But if I could even get 1/10 of my subscribers to donate $1 to our team that is going to be doing the Extra Life Foundation, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And it would mean a ton to me. It would mean a ton to children's hospitals, and it would mean so much to my family as well. So I'm going to provide you with the link that'll take you to my team page or my profile page on Extra Life. And if you could donate to our team, then I would greatly appreciate any and all support that you could possibly give. If I can meet my goal, I've had many people ask me this, but I'll say this right off the bat. If I have a relatively small goal of like $500 that I'm hoping to hit, if I can hit the $500, I will do a video blog episode and finally explain why I have the gefilte fish jar on my shelf. And there is a story behind this. There's a very small handful of people that know the story, and I will tell the reason why I have this. So there you go. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my personal life story and my daughter's personal life story as well. Thank you as well. Even if you don't donate, even if you don't do anything, thank you as always for taking the time to watch these videos and watch what I do. It means so much to me that you take the time to do that. I apologize for kind of like the somber tone of this particular video blog. I'll tell you what, the next one it'll be fun and it'll be exciting. And actually, I have a really good video coming up really soon. So it should be a lot of fun. I mean, when I say really soon, it's probably going to be towards the end of October. But think big giant list of games, and I think you're going to have fun with that one. So, all right. Well, you take care of yourself out there. And as I said, if you could take a moment to go check out my profile page at Extra Life, and if you could find it in your heart to donate to my my team or my our thing, then I would really appreciate that. So, all right. Well, and also, like I said, I should be doing some. If I can't get the Google Hangout YouTube thing live thing to go, I will just videotape the actual games and gameplay video, and I will post those after we get done with our 24-hour marathon. So, all right. Well, thank you again for taking the time to watch this, and until next time, you have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.